We are still on this matter and will stay on it for as long as possible or until they release Dele Farotimi. Today it is Dele Farotimi, tomorrow it might be you who is by the side laughing hard and mocking him. Hey, let him suffer, he talks too much, let him stay in prison for some time so that he will learn a lesson. No, and no one is saying that Are Babalola does not reserve the right to seek redress in court if he feels he was defamed. No, that's not the issue at all. We are talking about the criminal justice system in Nigeria, how corrupt it has become, how ordinary Nigerians can no longer get justice, how justice is for the highest bidder in Nigeria today. And while seeking redress in court, one must conduct all affairs within the law. Two wrongs never make a right. You don't just barge into his office with policemen, abduct him all the way to Ekiti State and charge him to court for an inexistent law. Yes, according to Professor Chidi Odenkalu, who researched the Ekiti State criminal laws, he found out that Ekiti State House of Assembly already expunged criminal defamation from criminal laws in Ekiti State. So one wonders why the magistrate court entertained the charge in the first place. You can't charge anyone for an inexistent law. Criminal defamation no longer exists in Ekiti State. So why did they entertain it in the first place? Right now, he's under illegal detention. If there's no basis, that's why they quickly filed fresh charges against him, calling it cyber crimes because they already understood that they made serious errors. The law you say he breached no longer exists in Ekiti State, so why is he being detained? And for people peddling the rumor that they withdrew the charges, no charge was withdrawn. If they withdrew all the charges, that means they must release him from prison. He's in prison today because they denied him bail for a bailable offense. You see, many people don't know the dangerous precedent they want to set with this case. If they succeed, it will mean that in future, anyone can wake up anywhere in any part of Nigeria, whether in the north, in the south, in the middle belt. They will just write a petition to the police and they will pick you up in any other state that you are and render you to the state they want, and you will be incarcerated for nothing. They can even try you under Sharia law despite the fact that you don't live in a state that practices Sharia law. So you can understand the dangerous precedent they want to set. Anyway, Dele Farotimi is not afraid of being charged to court, of giving the opportunity to defend himself. It took him 11 years to compile and write the book. 11 whole years. Do you think he doesn't know what he's doing? Do you think he was doing it for just propaganda or just to show that he's the only one seeing what is happening, seeing all the corruption, that he's the only one that is concerned about the criminal justice system in Nigeria? No. At the end of the day, he still donated everything, all the proceeds from the book. He donated it to charity. That's to tell you he's doing the work not for personal benefit. He's doing it for you. He's doing it for Nigerians. He's doing it because he wants a change in his own country. Now to what Attorney General of Ondo State, Kayode Ajulo, said in the piece he wrote on People's Gazette. He said that a man of Are Babalola's status, as an elderly man, all his accomplishments, everything in Ekiti State and Nigeria at large, that he is beyond reproach. Yes, that's the summary. He also said that Yoruba culture prevents people like Are Babalola from being maligned in public, that people shouldn't make baseless allegations that they can't prove against people like him. In other words, what he was trying to say, like already summarized, is that elderly people can't do wrong, and that they must be respected. Whether they do wrong or do right, they deserve all respect. First of all, like Dele Farotimi himself already said in many interviews, this book is basically not about Are Babalola. It is about the criminal justice system in Nigeria. Just a digression. There's one story that made the rounds a few years ago. Was it last year? One lawyer who used to work in Olanipeku's chambers actually told a company in writing, she wrote that company that they can bring a case to them, that her principal knows one judge that can rule in their favor. Imagine giving a company an assurance that the case must be won. Just meet our requirements, meet our conditions, bring the case, and we make sure justice is delivered in your favor. So when this became public, they wrote a petition against her and Olanipeku's chambers it was so embarrassing for everyone involved and they had to derobe the lawyer. So you can understand the extent of the rot in the criminal justice system in Nigeria. So the book wasn't just about Olanibeku, it was about the entire system, how it robs the ordinary man of justice, how no one is sure of anything. Even Nigerian laws, they are written in such a way that a judge can interpret them in different ways depending on who is there, who he wants to favor, the highest bidder. They can interpret white to become black. There's nothing you can do. Go to appeal court. Appeal court will interpret it the same way once you are ready to do what? To grease their palms. So this is the main issue. Dele Farotimi, like already said, is ready to face trial. Bring the trial, allow him to defend himself, and besides, in defamation cases, it is the people that brought him to court that will have to prove that he actually defamed them. He has the right to remain silent. He has the right to say, I didn't defame anybody. So they still have to prove it. That's why they filed fresh charges of cyber crimes and all that, so as to make it easy for them to interpret laws anyhow they wish. Now, coming back to what Ondo State Attorney General said, that elders cannot do wrong. Why do we have courts in Nigeria? How can people that were wronged by elderly people, whether in Western Nigeria or any part of Nigeria, how can they get justice if elders have become gods? Yes, that's what it means. If you cannot question them simply because they are elders, that's turning elders to dictators. They can do whatever they want without reproach, without getting any backlash from anyone, simply because they are elders. This is how they whip people in line. This is how they control the masses. When you catch them here, they will tell you, respect our culture. This is our culture. You don't insult elders, respect elders. When you catch them there, they will turn it to ethnicity. They will tell you, this one is from here, this one is from there. Don't do this, don't do that. Allow them to go. When you catch them there, they will turn to religion, because ultimately that's the one they will use to prevent you from reacting. They will tell you, leave it to God, do this, do that. All this turning around. Even in the United States, Donald Trump was put on trial. Is he not an elder? Or are we saying that our culture is superior to theirs? What culture prevents a thief from getting away with his crime? Because that's basically what he's trying to say. Everyone is equal in the eyes of the law. No one should be above the law, no matter the person's status in the society. Even if he's an elder, he's a former governor, he's a former president, everyone must be subjected to the same law. So saying that people should be above the law, because that's basically what he's trying to say, that because that person is an elder, no one should talk to him, whether the person has proof or not. He shouldn't be maligned in public. Like already said, this is not a malign, this is not defamation. He wrote everything that happened. It's like telling a story. He gathered all the information over 11 years, and it's not as if he's a young lawyer. He's been in practice for a long time, so he has the experience. He's telling the story from his own point of view, what he witnessed while practicing law. So how can anyone see this as defamation? Or was it because he called his name? Even on the one he mentioned his name, it happened to him. He experienced it personally. He filed a case against him, a libel case, and he told the story how everything went down. So let them come up with something. If they know they have anything against Dele Farotimi, let them bring it to court. All this passing by the side, all these intimidation tactics, all this detaining him for something they know doesn't exist, they shouldn't be doing all this. Let them bring him to court on charges where he will stand and defend himself, and justice will be seen to have been delivered, not all the mago-mago that they engage themselves in. Once you are ready to dance to their tunes, they will deliver justice to your favor. That's not the way to build a nation. If the law does not apply to everyone, that means we are creating a society whereby if you don't belong to the elites, you can never get justice. How can anyone claim that he is a citizen of Nigeria if he cannot get justice?